A last chorus for Your Ears Only. I'm David Alpern.
I'm Melissa Axelberth with a quote from the news. People didn't know my father was a person. That was Diane Disney Miller, last surviving child of cartoon and theme park innovator Walt Disney, who managed a Walt Disney Family Fund and set up a Disney museum in San Francisco. She died last week at age 79. Now this.
I am not such a clever one about the latest fads. I'll admit I was never one adored by local lads. Not that I ever tried to be a saint. I'm the type that they classify as quaint.
Award-winning actress-singer Laura Benanti insists she's not cool. And as you heard, she chose the old Jerome Kern Johnny Mercer song I'm Old-Fashioned to start the debut CD she recently released, In Constant Search of the Right Kind of Attention, live at 54 Below from Broadway Records. But Benanti can be hyper-hip as well, as in her series of 60-second internet explanations of Shakespeare plays, or as the ill-trained grief group leader she played in the NBC series Go On. She won a Tony for the title role in a New York revival of Gypsy, and Tony nominations for the musical Swing and Stephen Sondheim's Into the Woods.
On December 5th, Benanti will star with Carrie Underwood in an NBC special production of The Sound of Music, the first live network musical in decades, and then assume a recurring role in the 6th season of Showtime's cable series Nurse Jackie. But first, to look back at her career and ahead for Your Ears Only, Laura Benanti's on the line now. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, as they sing in The Sound of Music, let's start at the beginning. A good place to start.
Exactly.
Where were you born and raised, and when did you first realize your vocal and acting abilities?
I was born in Manhattan, and then we moved to New Jersey. I was raised in a little town called Kinnelon, New Jersey, and I sort of always knew what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. I exhibited, an ability to sing at a pretty young age, so I've sort of always known. I can't remember the definitive moment where I decided I wanted to, because I can't remember a moment where I didn't.
Since you started on Broadway at age 18, there's not too much of an earlier career to talk about. So what was your first show on Broadway?
It was The Sound of Music. I played Maria in The Sound of Music, starting actually when I was 18. I was the understudy for Rebecca Luker, who was the actress who played Maria. I went on for 2 weeks when she went on vacation, and then when she left the show, when I was 19 years old, I took over, and Richard Chamberlain was the captain, and it was an incredible experience.
You won a Drama Desk Award for a starring role in Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown at Lincoln Center, and a Tony for what could have been the musical version, at least the way Patti LuPone played Mama Rose in Gypsy. What did you learn from working with that actress? Well,
when you work with someone like Patti LuPone, who is so deeply committed and so in the moment at all times, you can never phone it in. You can never, ever be lazy. She's so smart, and she's so facile, and she's such a hard worker and so committed. She really changed the way that I act. For her, it is all about truth and just being truthful.
What are some of the other things you've learned from other more established stars you've worked with?
For me, I've worked with some incredible people, Chita Rivera and Antonio Banderas, Hugh Jackman, and all these just wonderful performers. And the thing that is the common thread among them is how hard they work. They are the people who, when everybody else goes to lunch, they stay and keep working. So I've just learned that sense of commitment.
How difficult is it switching gears from drama to musicals on stage, from stage to TV and movies, where the performances are generally broken up in such little pieces? Do you try to take time off in between that kind of a switch?
No, right now I'm rehearsing for The Sound of Music, but I'm also shooting the 6th season of Nurse Jackie. I have a recurring role on that. So, a lot of times you don't have the luxury of sort of doing one thing at a time, which is a great blessing to be that busy. But for me, it's just an energetic thing. When you're on stage, it's a different energy than when you're in front of a camera, which is, you just have to be more natural. It's just talking like yourself, as opposed to like a little bit more of a heightened version of yourself. So I really enjoy it. I think that it keeps me learning and growing, and all of it just makes me a better performer.
What about the more intimate art of cabaret, like at 54 Below in New York, where you can really see and feel how the audience is reacting to you?
That is my favorite thing to do. If I could make a living just doing that, I probably would. For me, I love the communication between myself and the audience. I love being myself and laughing and joking and being silly, and then all of a sudden turning around and being a character within a song. It's a great, great challenge, but the reward is so mighty.
How did you come to start doing microwave Shakespeare on the web, each play in just 60 seconds, and how long does it actually take to create and cut them down to size?
Well, honestly, Theater Mania, this website, that's a great theater website, they came to me and said, would I want to do like a silly Laura Benanti Explains Shakespeare? And it's all improv. I basically just sat down and they told me what play I was talking about, and I just made stuff up. I did, 4 or 5 of them, and we did them all in a half an hour. And then they edited them in a very, very funny way.
Of course, you should warn high school English students not to trust you very much, since you have Romeo and Juliet ending when Leonardo DiCaprio's boat hits an iceberg.
Yes. I think it's pretty clear that this is farce. So hopefully no one is relying on me for their exam.
Laura Benanti appears in The Sound of Music live on NBC December 5th. After that, in Nurse Jackie on Showtime. And she can be heard anytime on her debut CD, In Constant Search of the Right Kind of Attention, live at 54 Below from Broadway Records.
It's how I want to be, as long as you'll agree to stay old-fashioned with me.
And this has been For Your Ears Only.